sound. This time it worked. So let's see that everything else works as well. No, it doesn't. Okay. So, here we are. We made it again, 4 days. So, what's the big question now? Huh? I thought I put this up front. So, the big question, the answer is 4,200. Very appropriate number. Yeah. That's the amount of people who came to the 23rd Chaos Communication Congress. And this is quite a lot, and a lot more than we had last year. So this means we're probably doing a good thing here, and people are still interested what the CCC has to offer, and I can only thank you for coming and joining every year over and over again. Thanks. So, one of the things that has always driven the CCC but gained more and more importance at the event are projects. I can only emphasize that we need more of this. So, if you are doing something interesting and you want to show, this is the place to do it. Let me just step through some of the projects here that I think they are worth mentioning. Actually, all the projects are worth mentioning, but you know, if you try to enumerate them all, you will always forget some. So, for instance, there was the Avid VJ community again joined, as they did 2 years ago, provided the party space and so on. And they're also going to run the party this evening in the Seabase. I'm going to mention this later as well. They did their conference at the same time as well, and they're always very creative and very helpful, so thanks for coming. Probably the busiest play of the whole 23C3 was the lockpicking tables. And I have to mention Kunstsportgruppe Umgehungstechnik, the group that's doing this. They're based in Berlin but spreading throughout Germany. And they're doing a wonderful job with all their workshops they're offering. Yeah, I think many of you have enjoyed that as well, so thanks for that as well. Apart from the conferences, there are other things going on in the CCC world. Of course, there are regional groups that are doing their own events as well. So throughout the year, we usually have around 10 smaller or not so small events of any kind, conferences, workshops. And this is the good thing. Another part that's probably not as well known of the CCC family is the Wouw Holland Foundation, which was founded after Wouw Holland's death a couple of years ago. And they're coming up with new projects as well, and you might want to turn their eyes to. One of the first things that are actually visible is the Hacker Archive documentation project, and you might have seen when you entered the exhibition of stuff. So this is an ongoing project. things are being collected. If you have material, old material of the good old times, or probably other interesting or rare stuff that is somehow related to hacker history, be it CCC related or not, you should contact us. Especially Henriette, who used to run the organization at the conference, is now behind this hacker documentation project and already shows and is going to improve. And I hope we are going to have more exhibition-style things at upcoming congresses as well. Yeah. So, yeah, good work. And I can tell you, it's hard work. WoW left us shitloads of paper. Yeah. Tons of it, and it will take years to get through this, but I think it's worth it. So there are other projects here, you might have seen them, the mechatronics, the Lego stuff. The Wikipedia came again, the Freifunk community with their mesh networks. I especially liked the hands-on electronics area this time in the Art and Beauty Center. That was cool. I think special clap for the drones that were very impressive. And the RFID hacking. And what I particularly liked, and I know these guys are no longer here, but I really have to mention, that's the Monochrome group from Austria. You might have heard her RFID song already. If not, you will find it on the net. That was really nice. So, talking about RFID, you might remember that I have introduced the Sputnik project at the opening talk, and hopefully you have seen the work that has been done. It didn't really run on the first day due to, the usual bunch of problems, but in the end it worked out pretty well. We solved all the Sputniks. So there were 1,000. Actually, there are a few left. You might have a chance to get some, but most of the stuff is gone. And I'm not pretty sure about this number, but I think on average we have seen up to 600 of these Sputniks at the same time. So we have accumulated quite some data, because each of these Sputniks send out its position for every 3 seconds or so. There's a new website that's dealing with the project, openbeacon.org, where you can find all the hardware documentation and software documentation and a mailing list. And if you want to participate in the development or in other ways interested, you can go to that website and join. And all the anonymous data, or probably better to say pseudonymous data, as it might not be as anonymous. That's what we're about to find out. So we are going to publish all the anonymous tracking data that was collected at 23C3 on the net in the coming days, in one way or the other. And we want you to, start your data mining engines. Let's see what we can actually get out of this, so we don't have to, only discuss in theory. We can make practical analysis on what surveillance actually means. Yeah, the project is going on. As you can expect, there will be the next step at the camp. We will see what's coming out then. Not really in a position to announce anything. So, talking about organization. I mentioned it last year, I'm going to mention it again. This event is pretty complicated to organize, as there are many dynamics and many decisions to be made in the last moment. And what is best is it's mostly volunteer driven. That means we depend on your help in any way. This has been, well done just by being friendly and being collaborative and being communicative and everything, but a special thank you always goes first to the Chaos Angel crews. Oh yeah, there's so much work to cover, and they did it once again. This year it was especially surprising how easy everything went. I don't know the detail. I just heard that the Ministry of Information did particularly well this year, so special congratulations to them. I also want to name the archangels, the crew that is dealing with the angels and is basically the interface to all the volunteers for the internal organization. Flip Klaus, Honkhase, Sunny Fox for the third team, and Tabasco INMC. They are long, they have been here forever and they're doing a big job every year, and without them, nothing would work. Absolutely. And then there's the really, really hard stuff. And some of you might know I have been involved in this for quite some time. But this year it was done by somebody else. I have to directly mention Julia and Florian, who did the core organization of the event over the years. And this is a special hand. Where are you? They're hiding. They're too shy, they're hiding all the time. But you will get to know them. So, and last but not least, we have to, again, talk about the Berliner Congress Center, the BCC, which is always helpful and is really very forthcoming in the way they're dealing with this event, in financial ways and other ways as well. This is probably the only event that's making use of around 120% of the available space. And if I say 120% space, I mean it, because there are areas that are usually not rented at all. Because, it's sort of an internal area just for organization. But they're sort of going out of their own building as far as they can. And the best thing is they trust us. They trust us that we can deal with the situation. And so far it worked out well. And I hope it's going to stay this way. I should make clear also that there are two other companies who are associated with them. We have been with the BCC a long time now, even back in the days of Haus am Kölnischen Park. And so when Haus am Kölnischen Park turned to Berliner Congress Center, it's still more or less the same team that's dealing with us. But Ambion, the company who's doing the technology here, that's making sure that this microphone is working, and Progas, who is having this special 24-hour food service running, they are also new, and they have to, took their time to get acquainted with each other, but this is also a very friendly relationship now, and I'm very happy about this as well. So thanks to them as well. So, the lectures. Yeah, first of all, I forgot to put this on the slide, but I thought about it, I'm not really sure if I ever did this, but I think it's about time. We should give a big thank you to all the speakers who have been providing content for this event. As you might know, this event is different in many ways when it comes to dealing with speakers, because we sort of we can't really pay for a lot of expenses, and there's not much money to pass around. But the culture of providing the content for free, I think, is probably one of the most important parts of the Chaos Communication Congress at all. But it's also very important to record that stuff so it doesn't get lost. So the team has been pretty successful this year. They learned a lot of the lessons taken last year. It took some time to get all the stuff out due to a load of details that I'm not going to bore you with. But this time, everything has already been digitally recorded. It would have been already totally encoded if there hasn't been yet another, small detail. But I'm pretty sure this is going to work well. Also, the streaming worked well from, I think, noon of the first day. Many people reported that they have been happy getting up later. So, and the big thank you in this part goes again to the FEM Ilmenau group. They're sitting over there. Have a look to them, the group. You see them? Hello, here you are. I think they almost didn't leave that room, but it's probably the best site you can have here at the Congress. There was some help of the CCC Ulm this time as well to do the streaming stuff, so this is going to be even closer collaboration in the future as well. So there was, yes. I want to note that the company Maintech provided us with the DVB-T streaming this time. I'm not sure who made use of that, but it worked. And I hope we can repeat this at the camp. There's, much use to it. Comments? No. So, yeah, that's it. So as I said before, videos are mostly done and we're going to release it soon. Yeah, another strong factor of the Congress every time, all hail the POC, the Phone Operations Center. Everybody knows they're doing the DECT phone network and it's working so flawless every time, it's unbelievable. There's never an issue. What not everybody knows is they're doing this Congress TV system as well. So all the big TVs where you're looking at the lectures and see the upcoming events listed, this is also done by them. So yeah, it has been such a successful project that getting phones and going to the Congress is, business as usual. And not only in our community, as it seems, but also at the Saturn electronics store over there. Yeah, the good part is coming now. Yeah, there have been wonderful reports. First of all, they have established something like I could also only call a Chaos Angel priority queue, because if you have an Angel badge, they let you go first if there's a long queue right now. Yeah? Excellent. And there's quality consulting right now. Somebody tried to buy just one of the phones and already grabbed it, and then somebody says oh, you're probably at the Congress over there, right? Then you have to get this phone because this doesn't support all the necessary features. So talking about the POC, we also have to talk about the NOC, the Network Operations Center. Yeah, sometimes there are problems, and you need a special patch to fix it. And last year the NOC was totally disappointing because everything worked from the start till the end. Nothing special. But this time we ran into some problems you might have noticed. So what's the reason? One of the reasons is that we had some problems due to, well, let's call it some kind of renegade sponsor who sort of decided to go away for some reasons. So this caused a lot of problems because we needed to get huge equipment. And so there was a lot of private initiative. Many people went out and looked for whatever was available. So this time was much more patchwork than it used to be. And the problem was that this sort of created a single point of failure, which was the core routing system. And, central solutions. This machine was called Central Services. And after, the errors occurred and so many people had problems, it was totally unclear what the reason for this was. It was just failure coming up. We found out that this machine had an unknown internal limitation, unknown, because it was not really on the data sheets. And best of all, it was also totally unknown to the manufacturer as well. So, but this is a good thing about this Congress, because then, people are being called on the phone, long sessions. I think quite a few people have been called in the middle of the night, and there were weird debugging sessions going on until they finally found out what this limitation was. And sadly, that this limitation couldn't be removed in time. So they found some workarounds. This I don't have, but I can insert this. And so in the end, the network was pretty stable again, due to the great work of the NOC. So thank you as well. But sorry? What was the limitation? It's very technical, but it's like, are you technical people? I'm going to make too many mistakes. But it's basically about kicking out. Sorry? Alex, go ahead.
A maximum of 4,096 entries in the next hop table.
Okay, it was a maximum.
2,000 addresses configured on all the interfaces.
Okay, the system basically only saw 4,096 computers, and there were definitely more than 4,096 computers on this event. Talking IP. Okay. But what is the good news about this? The good news is we have to go out to sponsors and tell them, get your stuff fixed at Chaos Communication Congress, because this is where you can find your limitations. So, more boring numbers, traffic doubled. So it was mainly outbound, so the content here must have been interesting to the outside world. In part streaming, but probably something else as well. And a gigabit inbound. So our call for more usage of bandwidth was sort of heard. More numbers. We had huge links internally, so the network internally was pretty fast. The core router could handle like 5 gigabits. Am I still right, Alex? Okay. And yeah, so there were around 2,500 total network users, which is quite a lot, especially because there were 1,600 wireless users, which is insane. But from what I know, it worked, apart from the other routing problem, which was not related to wireless. Some people might have seen like, oh, wireless is not working again, the usual stuff. But this time it was only related to the central single point of failure, and the wireless just worked. So, who to thank? Who to thank you for the internet connection. We have KPN, Eurorings, Cogent Communication, been supporting us for a long time. Versatel, again, especially with the direct connection to the building, and de-hosting. They all gave us tons of bandwidth to use, and Aruba Networks is behind this well-working wireless network. So, and this is what the press is waiting for. We deliver. But there's not so much to tell. So we had, again, this hackers ethics hotline, which is not that popular. We had a single request. And this time was concerning an internal server. Oh! Frank knows more. I put this on. Can we switch this on? Okay.
Okay, so the Ethic hotline had actually more requests. One was concerning actually.
Come up.
I'm standing here. It's okay.
Okay, stand.
One was an internal server that contained, let's say, questionable content. We took it down rather quickly. And the second noteworthy request concerned a rather serious hole in a large-scale widespread system in Germany that we're going to follow up. So somebody came to us and told us that there is a really wide-gapping hole in a very critical system that we are following up currently. And so that should be public within the next 30 days.
Okay, one more. Good. So let's see if I'm going to be corrected on the next one as well, which is the abuse phone. You know, that's the line what people call when they're scared. Hackers. So not so many scared. Actually, there was only one scared ISP. And he was scared because we exist, and he demanded that we just block the entire network completely before the event. Yeah, it seemed all the other ISPs were a bit more relaxed, but then there was one scared user as well who wanted to have his IP blocked as well. Single one. We did it. No problem. Yeah. Well, and then there have been the usual stuff of, minor hacks. I haven't really looked through the list. There's a list on the wiki, as usual, but nothing noteworthy. And I must say thank you, because this is good. Even here we can't prevent the authorities to use their authority, so it's always good. But at least there was no official police activities at the event. So, I don't know. Yes, I'm going to be quick. So, what's next? As you might already know, but I'm going to point you to this as well, is once we're done here, and we're done soon, there's going to be the after-hour party at Seabase. So if you still have the time to hang around with everybody, best idea is just to go over to the Seabase. The Avid team is already waiting for us. So when you leave here, now after we're finished, you can directly move over to Seabase and continue to consume nothing. It's free. And of course, there's Club Mate, Internet, and the other drugs. Yeah, for those who don't know, it's just mainly down the road over the river to the left, and you will find it, and most of the people know here as well. There are more parties in the coming days for those who stay longer. There's a parties page in the public wiki, so you can consult this. On your way out, last minute activity. So right now at 8, shutdown starts, so we're collecting all the stuff, and we ask you to collect all your stuff as well, and we want everybody to be out at 10. So the Hack Center has to be down then, and the crew's coming and taking all the stuff. If you have uploaded anything like photos and video, then tag it, please. And if you, especially photographs, please attach a license, because press always very interested what they can use and what they can't. Same goes for us for documentation purposes. So make sure that you have a proper license attached. I wanted to point you to the proceedings for those who haven't really noticed that this is available, but I just heard that the shop has already closed, but there might be a chance to get one. We're going to publish this on our blog. And yeah, same story, stores closed. So I think there's some Sputniks left. Talk to Milos. Where is he? No Sputniks left? Okay, outdated information. Yes, and we also like you to provide feedback to the lectures. In the Fahrplan, in the schedule, there's a link on each of the lectures that you might have visited. Click on it. So, and what's coming? In April, In April, there's Easter Hack 2007 in Hamburg. And in August, there's going to be the next camp. And we all want you to join. Well, some of you might be surprised. I already announced this, but it's going to be around second week of August, 8th to 12th. So make sure you have proper holiday time and, save money for the event. Then we all like to join. And I'd like to know who plans to come to the camp from you? Hands up. 50%. Who is coming for sure? Okay. For all the rest, there is the 24th Chaos Communication Congress in Berlin again, and everything else you find in our blog. That's it. Thanks for coming. We had a great time.